And as a freshman and coming to CBA, how soon in your freshman year can you get involved in jazz ensemble?
All you have to do is show up the first day. That's all you have to do. From there, you can hang for a couple rehearsals. Sometimes we have students who come in the first day and they go on the list and they just get registered for the class. It's as simple as that. We have some students who will come in for a couple days just to kind of feel it out, play a little bit, maybe just watch, and then choose to register for the class, and that's fine as well. We also have students who go halfway through the year at CBA and they say, hey, I'm actually looking to play, and they can come in and join that next concert as well. So there's never a bad time to join. You can always join the ensemble, even if I'm not sure how registration works, but you can, if you're interested in playing in an instrumental ensemble, you can just sign up for jazz ensemble if that option is given, and that's totally fine.
And so jazz ensemble meets during zero period, correct?
Yes.
Is that and 3 times a cycle?
Yes, so jazz ensemble meets A, B, and C days, and then D, E, and F days, and then jazz combo meets A, B, and C days. It all just blends as one. It all blends as one. And you know, we have students who are doing jazz combo, also are in who are in jazz combo are also doing jazz ensemble. So we have some students who are playing 6 days a week.
Excellent. And now, my incoming guys on this call, you might remember last week we talked about how our schedule is a 6-day letter day cycle. And so that's where the A, B, C, D, E, F comes in, because your classes will be in a different order on those different days. And so certain zero period classes will meet on certain of the days within that cycle. So what about if you're taking lessons? If you just start, let's say, or you just started playing an instrument recently, can they ask you for some help on a song that they're learning?
Yes, absolutely. So we actually, that's not a unique situation. I've had many students come to me and say, hey, I just started doing this. Can I play or can I join? And my answer will always be yes. And one of the things that we're able to do and we're fortunate to do because of the way our ensembles work, there's opportunities for students to just play one song and just focus on that in a concert. I know we definitely had last year students who were fresh to the instrument who said, you know, I'm starting to take lessons, and I would like to do something, but I'm nervous about it. So, you know, they didn't register for the class. They came in, they joined jazz ensemble a couple times a week, and they worked with me outside of jazz ensemble, and they were able to play in the concert. You know, so we don't, it doesn't matter where you're at. We want you to join the program. We'll find an opportunity for you. We don't have specific lessons, like a lesson schedule, just so everyone knows. I'm the one music teacher, right? So my schedule can only allow room for so much in terms of lessons. However, we have built a team that's been doing this virtual series of people who can provide lessons for your students that are recommended by CBA, by us, to do that. And you know, a lot of times students, maybe not so much freshman year, but students have openings in their schedules. They have free periods and things like that. Definitely, there's a lot of students who come in during free periods. If their free periods line up with mine, and they get lessons, you know, so the opportunity does exist to get lessons. You know, I try to make it as realistic as possible, you know, so if you want to come in and just play during a free period and I'm there, that's totally fine as well, you know, so it's not just meant for those who have been playing for a while.
Mm-hmm. And do our guys rent instruments or bring their own?
Okay, so we primarily, students bring their own instruments. We have a limited supply of instruments that we have in the school, and those are rented, but you are not paid for. You borrow the instrument for your time at CBA. That's fine. However, rental is something that we've been looking into. It's just this is my going into my third year here, and we just haven't had the need for it yet. So we haven't opened it up. Like I know most of us are used to doing that with Music Shop or another company. And if you're leaving 8th grade, a lot of you probably had to give your instruments back. If that's the case, we'll figure it out. We do have horns that students have played for 4 years that when they're done, they leave them back at the school. And but we don't have the specific rental program set up.
Now I saw this question come in. I think I know the answer, but I'm going to throw this out there. Has there been a musical decided on yet for next year?
Yeah, we're still working on that. The problem is once we decide a musical, one of the things that we find very important is we don't announce anything until we secure rights, just because the integrity of that. So once we decide the musical, apply for dates and rights, and that's confirmed, then we'll announce that out.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ryan and Tim, can you each talk about starting CBA, coming in, so new school can seem a little bit intimidating when you're coming in as that freshman, when you're joining something like jazz where you've got these older guys that have been there for years playing ahead of you. What's some advice that you would give to these guys on this Zoom session right now?
So I think it is a little intimidating because you have all these older gentlemen that you don't know how good they are, especially when I came in. Ryan and I play lead trumpet right now, and I'm a year younger than him. So really age means nothing. But I think if you coming in, you should really just have your hopes set up high. You really will become much, much better, and we will all help you do that. Whether you're talking to a sophomore next year or a senior like Ryan, they will help you and help you become a better person and instrument player, whatever you play. And everybody has their own. I know a couple people that play one instrument, but they know a lot of stuff about another one. So they will help you with whatever instrument you want.
For me, I came in CBA a year before Mr. Lopez did. So I actually had a different band instructor my first year. And there's so many differences between the two that you can pick out and the way the department has changed. But in terms of musical knowledge, Mr. Lopez is probably one of the best I've ever met. His musical knowledge and ways of teaching, his instrument knowledge for all instruments is incredible. So he's a great person to go to for almost anything involving music. But like Tim said, all the students are willing to help each other. Very recently, Tim and I saw that there's another trumpet player who 100% could make the jazz combo, but he wasn't completely confident in himself. So we just reached out and said, you should definitely audition. You are way better than you think you are. And he auditioned and he did great. And it was just that little bit of confidence boost from a fellow student that just put him over the edge and made him see yeah, I can do this. And so at CBA, the support system for the music within itself is really strong.
Wonderful. And Ryan, because I know you have now experience acting with Pegasus, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit and ask you to talk briefly about Pegasus.
So Pegasus is very unique, as it's one of the few things. We take girls from all schools around the state, and they come audition as well. And then the guys are solely from CBA. But it's very professional. It's mainly student run. Mr. O is our director, but he really gives us a lot of leeway in helping us make the show our own and he basically puts us on a guideline and makes it so that we can't go too off the rails, and he dials us back when we need to, but he almost lets us kind of make the show the way we want. And if you have an idea for something, you can put it out there. The different departments, costumes, and sound crew, is Tim is a part of, do a lot of their own things and come up with their own ideas that, as long as they're cool and they look good and they're professional, then they usually go through. And it's just very different from a lot of other schools because of the student run aspect of it.
Wonderful. Thank you. And our auditions in freshman year, are auditions open to incoming freshmen for the play and for the musical, or for one or the other?
They are open for freshmen. Audition day is assigned, and then you go in, you make sure you're given a number, and then you audition, and then the process goes through callbacks and all that. But it is open to freshmen, and we try to strongly encourage that if you don't get a part, or you don't get the part you want, you always just try to come back, because there is stuff for everybody. There's plenty of people who I've talked to, seniors who just graduated, who when they were freshmen maybe didn't make it into the play, but they found another way to get involved, and they learned something new in theater, whether it was a different part of the crew that they didn't know a lot about, and they got involved in that way and learned just a different side of theater. So there's definitely a lot of ways to get involved if you don't get into the show as an actor.
I think our music department and our theater are two areas of CBA that just really showcase how much learning goes on outside of the classroom. That's, and sometimes totally unrelated to anything else that you're doing in high school. I think, I always see such an energy and that camaraderie of spirit anytime that I'm back in Henderson Theater or walking back by the music room. And I don't know if that's something, Tim and Ryan, that you guys feel in terms of just the learning that's going even beyond just what you're exactly there for. Yeah. Mr. Lopez, could you tell us a little bit about maybe some of the key things that a graduating 8th grader, as they come in as a freshman, things that might be different from how they're used to doing music in middle school?
Yeah, so the big one, the elephant in the room, is jazz, right? Like that is scary. And for anyone who's an instrumentalist and you played in concert band, don't worry, I get it. We get it as a department. Don't be afraid of it. Jazz, it's called jazz, like I said, it's called jazz ensemble, but that doesn't mean we're just playing jazz music. Right, we play a variety of styles, especially in the combo. As you get through those groups, we're playing a lot of different types of music. Yeah, is the focus jazz? Yes. Do I expect you to have done jazz? Probably not, because not only do most middle schools not offer jazz, but even when they do, most students don't play in the jazz ensembles. Okay, so right off the bat, don't be afraid of that. Don't let that be a reason why you don't join the program, because it's called a jazz ensemble, but that doesn't mean it's all we do. In addition, I think Ryan and Tim said it really well. It's really a family here. We're all very close to one another. It's a very open dialogue between everyone. We help each other out. Students, I'm amazed at what upperclassmen students and even sophomores do to help freshmen get through their first year and provide conversation and extra help and just camaraderie there. So embrace that. The music department is so unique in that it's a place that you can be with the same people every day for 4 years, right? And that's really unique. It's not necessarily like an English class where it's a different group every single time. We are a family, and we get really close, and we get to do really cool stuff and have a lot of fun experiences. So remember that. Don't be afraid to join the family. It's a really good time.
That's a fantastic advertisement right there.
Yeah,
That should be your tagline. Don't be afraid to join the family. Do we have any other questions hanging out there as we kind of wrap up here? I want to make sure that everybody's that's on our session gets their questions answered. Mr. Lopez, maybe so I know at least in last year over the summer, we were able to provide some opportunities for students, and I know this summer is different given the pandemic currently. So what would be some things that these guys can sort of keep up with over the course of the summer to be in tip-top shape when they get into September?
So one of the most important things for us as a department is the idea of listening, right? And how valuable it is to just listen to music regardless of the style of music. So things that you can do over the summer, if you're someone who says, I'm nervous about jazz scares me, cool, listen to it, and that doesn't mean just put on Miles Davis or John Coltrane, who are the jazz legends. Like, there's a ton of, new age hip groups that are doing things that, yeah, they're shaking their head because they know what we're talking about. We don't just do the standard things. So expand your musical palette, this is like a canvas, and we have this musical palette here of colors that we're just splashing everywhere. So listen to music this summer. You use this opportunity as a time to kind of reflect, what do I like to listen to, or what are things that I don't like to listen to that I can be listening to more. I know for me, I'm not a big country music fan, but I'm a big advocate of practicing what you preach. So I've been trying to listen more during this time as I have the free time to listen to it more and understand it more, because I know that it'll help me as a musician. In addition, one of the really valuable things that will help you as an instrumentalist getting into this program is kind of having a basic understanding of your scales, right? We do all our scales in middle school, but we don't really understand, like, very often it's like do a B flat scale and we just know how to blast through a B flat scale. But like, what's every single note that you're playing in that scale? There's a website called musictheory.net. Musictheory.net is a great resource to kind of get you ready to learn your key signatures, learn your scales. It doesn't mean that if you don't know them coming to school, you won't be fine, but it'll just kind of get you prepared for what's going on so that you can kind of, be ahead of the game and feel like, yes, I know this stuff. And it's basic concepts, but especially with jazz, and as we start talking about improv, the scales are really important. So that's musictheory.net is a great resource that I encourage a lot of students, even students going into their senior year AP theory. I tell them hop on musictheory.net over the summer. So it's a really valuable resource to kind of get your fundamentals down.
Excellent. How many groups are available to the incoming freshmen?
So how many jazz groups? It's the one. It's a big band. So one of the things that's unique and why we're able to do the things we do is a big band, which would be a large jazz ensemble, is usually 15 people. Sometimes we go on the stage with 30. We allow every single person to play. Every single student plays. So there's one main group, jazz ensemble, that we provide and incoming freshmen can join.
Excellent. Ryan and Tim, I'm going to ask you guys each so Ryan, as you just finished your junior year and you're going to be starting your senior year, and then Tim getting ready to start your junior year next year. Thus far, what has been the most rewarding part of being a part of the music department at CBA?
Okay, I'll start. I think the most rewarding part is just having someone to talk to, whether it's a fellow student or Mr. Lopez. I have become very friendly with Mr. Lopez, and I will go into his office after school almost every day, and me and a couple of other kids just sit there and chat with him about his day and stuff that doesn't even have to do with music. And it's just great to have someone like that, because even if I don't want to talk to a guidance counselor, I could talk to him if something's going on at home. And he's just that one person that can listen and always have something nice to say.
Great. That's awesome.
Yeah, I feel like very similar to what Tim said. There's just something about, and I feel like you'll find this at a lot of places at CBA, but music is no different. There's just something in the camaraderie that comes alive when we're playing music together, and just the bonds that we all build with each other. And there's just a certain level of trust in music, trust that everybody knows their parts, trust that we're able to work together and, play the song right. And there's just something special that just happens when, we're all in the same room together, and, we all love to joke around, and, it's really just about having fun, but we're all, like Mr. Lopez said, it's just one big family, really.
Wonderful. Thank you guys for those thoughts. All right, so Mr. Lopez, I'm going to ask you to just bring it on home for us, and any parting words that you have for this group.
Yeah, I overall, I really hope that if music is something that's interesting to you, or the arts, let me go even more broad, the arts in general, there are opportunities there in CBA that exist. Just off of what Ryan said before about Pegasus, for example, one of the things that we value here at CBA is the arts as a whole, right? And how the actors singing on the stage are just as important as the students who build the entire set, or the students that are you know, part of the development team who get sponsors for our shows and handle, you know, getting people to know our show, our PR team, and do things like that, like encompassing the arts in general. The opportunities exist at CBA. So if you're hesitant, don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to come to, and you now know Tim and Ryan, and they're great resources. Or come to me, or come to Mr. O, or anybody to learn more and find ways to get involved, as much or as little as you want. But I just don't want anyone to think there's not a place for them because they don't do that one specific thing. This is a place for everybody to get involved, and it's a really, really great time. And we are resources to you as you're getting ready for this strange time, new school, so many adjustments. We're here to help you, and help you make those informed decisions, and honestly, help you become better men and better musicians. So feel free to reach out, and we'll always be there to get you ready for next year.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mr. Lopez.
Cool.
Ryan and Tim, thank you very much. I will certainly share Mr. Lopez's email address for any questions that might come up. My knowledge only goes so far, and then I really hand it over to the experts. But thank you, everyone on this chat with us tonight, for wanting to learn a little bit more about CBA and the arts. And I do hope to see many of you getting involved next year. And we look forward to hearing what you have to bring, and the talents that you have to bring to the stage and to the music room next year. So for now, it's see you soon, see you later. But certainly, hopefully it will be much sooner rather than later, that the fall will be here, and we'll be able to be all together again, and welcome you all into the community. So we will sign off for this evening. Thank you for joining us tonight, everyone, and have a good rest of your evening. Take care.
Thank you all so much. Ryan, Tim, thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
Yep.
Appreciate the kind words as well. It means a lot.
Thank you, guys.